Hello everyone, welcome to Daily Wisdom, a wisdom growth channel that hopes to improve your vision. In this video, I'm going to share with you 12 signs that prove you are smarter than you think. You may be surprised by how many of these signs you have, and how they reflect your intelligence and potential. Before we start, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support is our biggest motivation. Sign 1. You have a lot of ideas. We have to admit that in this fast-paced and ever-changing modern society, creating new ideas becomes more and more difficult. However, there are still some people who can think outside the box and easily come up with various novel and creative ideas, or even brilliant ones. In science, there is no precise definition of genius. Many people think that geniuses must be the smartest, because smart people always have many excellent ideas. Many intelligent geniuses in history are also highly respected for their great discoveries and inventions. But the truth is, great ideas and creativity often come after countless bad ones. The so-called geniuses also have to go through failures to achieve success. Edison, Newton, the Wright brothers, these geniuses' creativity behind them is that they produced a lot of ideas and creativity through persistent efforts and practice. And among so many ideas, only a small part of them eventually succeeded and changed the world. So if you have a constant stream of ideas in your head, then congratulations, you are probably a creative and inspired genius. This skill, called creative generation, will surely make you stand out among ordinary people. Sign 2. You have a sense of humor. Have you ever had this experience? You are in a dull and serious situation, but suddenly you think of some inappropriate jokes in your head. For example, when you are in a meeting, you suddenly remember a joke about baldness, and then you associate it with the leader in front of you. Actually, humor is one of the most obvious signs of intelligence. Einstein attributed his smart brain to having a childlike sense of humor. And a series of research results show that there is indeed a correlation between humor and IQ. Funny people, especially those who enjoy dark humor, have higher IQs than those who lack a sense of humor. This is because processing and expressing humor requires a certain level of cognitive ability and emotional control. Humorous people have higher verbal and nonverbal intelligence, and therefore they are less likely to be emotionally disturbed or aggressive. Sign 3. You can remember a lot of details. Intelligent people often can remember things that others have long forgotten, especially some trivial fragments and insignificant ideas. Excellent memory is not a simple IQ problem. On the contrary, it is the crystallization of experience and ability. You may have spent a lot of time, intentionally or unintentionally, training yourself, such as recalling what happened today before going to bed, constantly searching, updating and challenging your memory bank, learning various niche knowledge, and strengthening your information storage ability. Over time, your memory becomes stronger and stronger and more sharp. Naturally, you become the strongest brain with outstanding memory in the eyes of others. Sign 4. You often enter a state of forgetting yourself. If a person can focus on his own thinking in any scene, regardless of the opinions of others and the interference of the surrounding environment, or even enter a state of daydreaming, then this person is most likely a genius. Because a lot of research shows that daydreaming is related to higher levels of mental activity and cognitive performance. When you enter a state of trance, deep thinking, which usually lasts for half an hour to an hour, or even longer, this is exactly your extraordinary genius trait. Sign 5. You prefer to be alone. You may have noticed that geniuses and high IQ people are very busy, but in fact they prefer to be lazy. Because they like to use their brains to think about problems, their brains get tired, and they naturally appear to be inadequate in action. But because of this, they will spend time thinking and looking for more time-saving and labor-saving methods. So, relatively speaking, high IQ people are more efficient in completing tasks. Sign 6. You are born to love music. Have you noticed that some people can easily master things that others find hard to learn, such as learning how to play an instrument relatively easily? The reason is very simple. They have a natural understanding of music theory and musical aesthetics, or in other words, they have the ability to quickly understand and replicate musical patterns. So whether you are a musician or a music fan, this love and talent for music implies that you may have extraordinary artistic potential and intelligence. Sign 7. You can understand and accept unanswered answers. You must have noticed that in this world, there are very few definite questions that are either black or white, and the grey area between black and white is the norm. Especially when faced with complex problems, it is even more impossible to get a clear answer quickly. Sometimes the test of success is the mentality. If you can be patient and calm in the chaos, accept the temporary unanswered, you will have a greater chance of winning than others. Sign 8. You often feel anxious because of having a high IQ. You can quickly solve problems, and also more clearly observe the less positive and sunny side of life. Therefore, you may often fall into endless pessimism and anxiety, especially when you predict that the future development may not be as smooth as you expected, or when some unchangeable difficulties appear in your life. High IQ people are more likely to have a strong sense of anxiety. Sign 9. You can recognize your own disadvantages. Justin Kruger and David Dunning wrote in an article in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology that the lower the intelligence level of a person, the more likely they are to overestimate their own cognitive level and ability. Smart people are not afraid of not knowing or unknown things, nor will they pretend to know for the sake of face. Because they dare to admit their own cognitive limitations, they will patiently look for various channels to learn humbly, and then form their own knowledge framework and concepts for unknown things, and constantly expand their knowledge reserves. Sign 10. You have empathy. Do you often empathize with others? For example, when you see someone crying, you also feel sad and cry with them. High IQ people have a high sensitive psychological trait. They have a very fast response to the emotional changes of the people around them. It is precisely because they can keenly feel the joys and sorrows of the parties. They are also more likely to form an emotional resonance with the parties in the communication, and become the best object for everyone to trust and confide in. Sign 11. You like reading. Research has found that high IQ people generally like reading from a young age. They not only read the textbooks provided by the school, but also read books of different genres. As the saying goes, there is a golden house in the book. Books are the medium for transmitting the knowledge achievements of the predecessors. Reading, to a large extent, broadens people's horizons and improves their problem-solving skills. At the same time, for the naturally thinking high IQ people, reading also makes them have a deeper thinking about life. Sign 12. You are curious about everything. Curiosity is the driving force of learning and exploration. High IQ people are always curious about everything, and they are not satisfied with the superficial answers. They like to ask why, how, and what if, and try to find out the underlying principles and mechanisms of things. They are also willing to challenge themselves and try new things, because they know that this is the best way to grow and improve themselves. That's all for today's content. I hope you can gain something and think through watching our program. If you see this, don't forget to follow Daily Wisdom. Thank you again for your likes and subscriptions. See you next time.